That's a friend. We fight,
Piece it up after.
and we piece it up after, right? That's a friend. And I've only been hunting a couple times, but I don't stop until the food stop moving.
Fuck you doing? Trying to tell me that's a red line. People out here waiting months on a bread line. Delay trials with a cannon 8 more times. Give it all a minute till you finish and you go vine. Pick up every other company you can't buy, then I put you on top and then say bye. Rich motherfuckers always fucking up a good vibe, and they wanna tell you that they really just a fall guy. Alright, I just believe what you say rehearsed, thinking you fly but it doesn't work. Free everybody, you made it worse. Fuck is wrong with you, Kim? Do you have a word? RFK brain like a leftover. Better watch what you say about KRAFT. Roasting Hunger Games at the Capitol. Shit posting out of touch, you ain't say over ho, homie. Fucking graduation, college losing papers, blocking barricades and get the music playing. Got my generation proving every placement, keep engaged when really you just try and invade it. When it's easy, fuck around like Luca need your press brief. Find out all these new debate chiefs, recreate beef when a cloud dying off the kick stream. Netanyahu living off cap, need a war when his hat or the power fall flat. And people in Tel Aviv are trying to tell him pull back. And performative motherfuckers will suck up real fast, don't listen. Situation looking all different like a lemonade charge, man, it's tired, y'all kill him. They got taps on your wires singing BBL Drake. Yo, Haley, does a guillotine come with that cake? I'm kidding. Shit, this political violence looking more stylish, guns keep on flying off shelves. Apple, this ad isn't dialed and tell them your story, they'll double the mileage. Hell, Jordan's back taking shots at everybody like a Clark attack. I don't need a game song or a diss from Shaq. I got a tweet on Drake's heart and a screenshot fast. So as you can see, there's something missing in this room. It's because Amazon sucks. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching Freestyle the News. If you like what you heard, please eviscerate that like button like you're going first in a rap battle after that like button and his crew jumped you outside of your home thinking that you wouldn't come back in any significant way. And now here you are after bodying their first 2 crew members, fighting the big man himself, Papa Doc. And then after you admit all of your faults in front of a crowd who once booed you off stage, Papa Doc doesn't know what the fuck to do. So then he just joins the Avengers. And leave a comment on your favorite bar. So if you're wondering what the fuck is going on in this room, my girlfriend brought a new desk, a brand new standing desk, similar to mine. She actually bought me my standing desk as a birthday present. She bought the same like really nice pristine one for herself, and then Amazon shipped it. And first off, the desk had dents in it. Secondly, this was the wire for the legs. What the fuck? And she had already taken down like her whole setup and all that shit. You know what? Fuck you, Amazon. They gave her like a $40 credit, which honestly, this seems low, but you know, it's fine. But she's without a desk for a few days, and this is my backdrop. But yeah, anyway, very quickly before we get into this breakdown, I want to say thank you to everybody who signed up for Too Soon Crew last week and who's given me love on some of the reaction videos. Listen, I do like reacting to stuff, but I always want to be able to add to content. I don't ever want to do a chair stream. That's fucking weird, man. But I do like reacting to certain things that happen and things in time and giving you my opinions and takes, because I want to be a place that facilitates conversation in a meaningful way. So for all of you who rock with me during the Kendrick Drake rap civil war, the greatest rap battle beef of all time, I thank you. For those of you who think I was uncultured for covering the rap beef, I'm a fucking rapper. What? But I just really appreciate you guys vibe with my content and stuff. And I wanted to ask, hey, listen, would you like to see me reacting to more stuff in a way if I can add to it? I don't want to do one of those like, oh my, that's a cool TikTok, man. That's crazy. I'm not gonna dox your house. No Sniper Wolf vibes here. Just if there's like a news story or something like that I think is substantive that, you know, warrants just a quick reaction. I love doing deep dives, but I'd love to do other kind of stuff too. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that's the kind of content you'd want to see me do more of. Again, in addition to Zed Talks and Freestyle the News. And lastly, for every single person in history asking for a BBL Drizzy drop, I have one. I didn't release it, but I will tack it onto the end of this episode just for you. So enjoy, you're getting a second rap in a second. But finally, all right, let's get into this breakdown. And listen, we had a pretty crazy week. Yes, a lot of pop culture was dominated by what we talked about this last week with Kendrick and Drake, but there are so many significant events that it feels went under the radar. And I'm not gonna blame the beef for this. I'm gonna blame the fucking media because they saw the clicks and they wanted to jump onto it despite not knowing anything about that incident. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get to what some motherfuckers didn't cover. And we'll start with Rafah. Over the past week, Israel has started to make major significant steps toward a ground invasion of Rafah. Rafah is a city that has grown tremendously over the course of this war due to the displacement of many people fleeing Gaza, and currently there are about 1 million Palestinians in the city. This also comes at a time where many people are saying there is a man-made famine in northern Gaza. Full blown. I saw a TikTok the other day of a kid trying to feed cats who was hungry and hadn't eaten. Netanyahu, prime minister and professional bitch, has said, we will enter Rafah because we have no other choice, and a bunch of other bullshit because he wants power. Al Jazeera was recently banned this week in Israel. And guess who defended Al Jazeera? The Foreign Press Corps in Israel. I'm done mincing words. I wasn't doing it before. I have been very nuanced throughout since October 7th. I didn't speak on it when I didn't know enough. I called out October 7th for being horrific. I called out Hamas. I called out Netanyahu. I called out Netanyahu during the judicial protests. And I'm just gonna be real. Saying that not supporting Netanyahu's actions are anti-Semitic is fucking brain rot. Tel Aviv had a protest this week asking for a ceasefire deal to be made. Those are Israelis. You support Israel? There they are. The reason for these invasions, the reason for these people dying, the reason for the war, people are supporting with the fucking brain rot they have. The reason Netanyahu wants to move is because he wants to stay in power. Do you understand? It is broadly unpopular for him to keep this war going, but the far right bloc of his government wants him to keep going so he can stay in a position where he can benefit, where he can steal from his citizens. That's been fucking proven. Where he can destroy judicial rights. What else do I need to tell you? I have no time for people who are trying to flail around Hamas as a boogeyman. I've condemned them 1 billion times. When will you condemn this cunt? You're for Israel's right to defend themselves against whom? Its own citizens? Its ability to have a democracy? Its whole system of government being hijacked? Are the Jewish people asking for hostages to come home? Are they anti-Semitic to you? I'm talking about the ones in Israel marching. Are they anti-Semitic to you? Who blame this entire situation on their leaders? Who feel Netanyahu used them as human shields? Not my words. Not my words. Israelis. That's the nuanced perspective. Like, I'm not playing a game right now. Fuck the talking points. Fuck the stupid CNN article, which doesn't know what the fuck it's talking about. This is fact. Thousands of people in that country fucking hate this guy. They didn't want him there. They feel most of their problems are due to his leadership. Do you understand? Women and children are dying. And you go, Israel has a right to defend himself? Israel is not Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you understand? They're not synonymous. If you hate Biden, if you hate Obama, if you hate Trump, if you hate any political leader and you feel like they don't represent your country, here you go. What the fuck? Like, do I have to fucking draw it on a coloring book chart for you? And you got a problem with what I'm saying? The world has figured it out. Earlier this week, Biden finally grew a backbone and said the red line in the sand is Rafah. The US will not supply Israel with any more weapons if they try to invade Rafah. Do you understand what that means? That means, let's say Netanyahu's like, we'll go it alone. Do you understand how fucked the citizens of Israel are? They are completely isolated from the world. That is a leader sacrificing the well-being of his citizens for more power as he invades another country. Who the fuck is that like? And again, there's plenty to criticize Biden on in this situation. I also have to tell you, what's frustrating to me is that, of course, this was how the situation was going to play out. Like, I'm not surprised. For decades, our view of foreign policy, let's just take Israel as one example. Our view of foreign policy has been so black and white, so binary about what's going on. These are the bad guys. These are not the bad guys. These are... And as much as I give shit for people supporting Netanyahu through all of this, this is a situation that was created before them. People who are Jewish have grown up in environments where they're said, you're not an actual citizen of the United States, you're a citizen of Israel. And they have to deal with that. We are fighting a campaign of decades and decades of propaganda to let people in power stay in power. People like Benjamin Netanyahu. So this is no longer a situation about anti-Semitism versus like, this is a situation about somebody who doesn't fucking care, who just wants to stay wherever the fuck he wants. And I promise you, if you really do give a fuck about the people who live in Israel, if you let this guy do what he does, his citizens will suffer because he will throw them under the bus and that'll be it. And by the way, fuck Hamas. I don't like them either. But there needs to be a ceasefire, and I'll leave you with this. Hinds Hall was another song that came out during this whole Drake-Kendrick beef, and it got a lot of attention. It's by Macklemore, talking about the situation in Gaza. He brought up a lot of good points. He gave the protesters an anthem to sing with. And the name caught my eye. Like, what does Hinds Hall mean? Hinds Hall is actually Hinds Hall, named after Hind Rajab, a 6-year-old girl who was trapped in a car with 6 of her relatives, terrified in Gaza. They were fleeing northern Gaza when their vehicle came under Israeli fire, and they were killed, along with 2 ambulance workers dispatched to rescue them. Fuck Benjamin Netanyahu. Fuck you, bitch. I hope you wake up with spiders in your penis. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Heavy story. So one of the stories we wanted to cover last week that we didn't get to cover was the Helldivers 2 controversy. Helldivers 2 went through a pretty insane whirlwind over the last few weeks. And it kind of started when Sony decided that every single Helldivers player, regardless of platform, had to have a PSN account starting on May 30th. And look, previously that PSN account stipulation was disabled when the game first came out because they needed to accommodate such an immense amount of people on their servers. But there were 2 other contentious points of backlash. One, 170 countries don't have access to a PSN account, which in and of itself is really fucked up. But the other was, while a lot of people said, hey, it's a free account, why don't you just sign up if you are in a country with a PSN account? Many people brought up that Sony has had multiple data breaches over the last few years. And it brought up that age-old conversation about data privacy and giving your data over to some of these big companies. And watching these big companies give your data over to data brokers and then spread out. Now, the good news is Sony backtracked on that policy. You don't need a PSN account to log on to Helldivers on PC. But again, that stipulation on data privacy is a huge topic we talk on this show all the time about. And that's why I'm really happy that today's show is sponsored by Incogni, the solution to that problem. Listen, I've talked about Incogni a bunch of times before, but you should know that I pay for Incogni out of my own pocket because it is still the best solution for getting your data out of the hands of these really toxic brokers who will use it and sell it for whatever they want. Your spam messages, your spam calls, all of that crap is built in an industry that makes you follow something that you really like and then take something from you that you don't want it to take. I don't want my biometric data out there. I don't want to be advertised to about a mortgage which I don't own. That has happened. I am a millennial. I don't know if I'll ever have a mortgage. But that internalized screaming aside, Incogni helps. So fucked up. Incogni has helped me get in control of my data quite a bit more. If you don't know what the process is, Incogni works through the legalese and all of the loopholes and hurdles to track down your data at every data broker they can find and sends takedown notices to all of them. And they even track it for you as you go along. Here was my Incogni dashboard when I signed up. Here it is now. And over the years, more brokers have been added and then taken off the list because Incogni's gotten that taken down. And the results speak for themselves. I have way less spam messages, way less spam calls, and an enormous peace of mind with all of this happening. And if you go to incogni.com/Tabani and enter in the code Tabani, they're gonna give you 60% off. 60% off? Wow, that's almost as much as the amount of Drake songs that sound problematic now. But listen, I really do believe in this stuff. I've said it over and over and over again, and they're awesome. So listen, if you want to get control of your data, if you're tired of spam emails and messages, and if you like that Drake joke and you want to support this cool rap show, go to incogni.com/Tabani, enter in the code Tabani, and get some peace of mind. All right, back to the breakdown. All right, moving on. Let's go on to Microsoft. Microsoft announced a major amount of layoffs in its games division, closing down multiple studios, including Arcane Austin, the makers of Redfall, and Tango Game Studios, the makers of Hi-Fi Rush. Now, if that name piques your ear, you can kind of see what the issue is. Hi-Fi Rush was released in January of 2023 and was one of the biggest games of the year. Do you understand how big of a deal that is? It was an Xbox darling. Xbox, a name that has kind of faded from the lexicon a little bit because of how badly Microsoft has managed their IP and their brand. Microsoft has never recovered from the Xbox One, and there are so many Xbox fans who have been like, yo, Microsoft, what are you gonna do about these game studios? What are you gonna do about your games? There's so many people who have spoken out about Microsoft's mismanagement of its games division. And so Microsoft started buying up studios like Activision Blizzard, like Tango Gameworks, which is a part of Bethesda. And so you can understand why it's frustrating that a studio releases a hit game, one of the few hit games that helps keep Microsoft in the conversation, and then gets shut down and lays off all of its workers. What the fuck? That's the reward for doing your fucking job? But here's the issue. Like, almost everybody in this industry knows it's not Tango's fault. It's Microsoft's. They had the audacity the next day or so to say on an earnings call, well, we need more games like Hi-Fi Rush. You just closed down that fucking studio. And many reported one of the reasons they gave was, well, they were pitching us a new game and we couldn't figure out the resources for that. Yet you want games like that? What are you talking about? And I said this in a video that I posted on TooSoonCrew.com. I am so tired of tech companies buying game companies and playing them like it's a fucking casino. These are people in the fastest growing medium, one of the most impactful mediums in culture today, who are crunching, giving hours and hours and hours of life to these passion projects. And you, who are too fucking myopic to understand what is going on, are fucking playing with their lives because you can't figure your shit out. And when you fuck up, they get the axe. What happened here was so fucking disgusting. And multiple developers are sounding off about it. I'm fucking flabbergasted. Let me know what you think in the comments. This is just fucking horrible. Couple of quick stories. Tom Brady recently had a roast that everybody was talking about, aside from Kim Kardashian being horribly booed and Tony Hinchcliffe killing, like people try to kill him all the time. There was this one exchange between Tom and Jeff Ross.
He said, I'm the best decision your organization has ever made. Would you like a massage? I love Robert Kraft. I love that shit again. Okay.
Ooh. So apparently, there was a rule that you're not supposed to make fun of Robert Kraft while you're on the dais. And Tom heard that and became a little bitch, specifically about massages that Robert Kraft may or may not have received, a lot of other dumb shit. Otherwise, the roast was really, really well received. It was a big deal for a lot of people in comedy. That being said, it's a bitch move, Tom. Everything's on the table at a roast. Then you're gonna get up there and read jokes other people wrote for you? We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen? I don't know. Took me out of it a little bit. RFK also made headlines this week when in an interview, he said they had found a worm in his brain who had partially eaten some of it. Makes sense. I just want to let you know that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. And lastly, I want to do a quick update on the Kendrick Drake beef. Now, after the monster amount of tracks that were dropped this last week, including Not Like Us, Drake finally responded with the Heart Part 6 and lost.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. You think the pay gon'
And listen, like I said, this was one of the greatest rap battles I have ever seen or gotten to experience. It was so great to watch everybody just really like take in all of this new music. The other day I went to the gym and I played all of the tracks one after the other. I cannot recommend it enough. Oh man. And look, while there is still a lot of glazing going on, I do think it's pretty obvious who won, who lost. Not Like Us is a summer bop. I do think Drake did pretty well in the battle. Family Matters is still really, really strong, as is Push Ups. Let's not talk about the Heart Part 6. That's terrible. I have a reaction to it on Too Soon Crew, and I'm not going to post it here because it's copyrighted, and that song is fucking terrible. But here's the thing. There's also a ton of content popping up around this. And here's the part of the beef that I wasn't looking forward to, is everybody trying to cash in. This was so big. And now everybody wants to have a take after missing out on experience. Like, what the fuck? There's this one Atlantic article by Spencer Kornhaber. It's not a rap beef, it's a cultural reckoning, which I made a TikTok about because it was one of the worst fucking takes I've ever seen. And there are tons of these popping up over the internet. But just for a taste of how dumb this fucking article is. We're witnessing the modern implementation of an ancient rite, the desecration of an individual for the moral cleansing of the masses. The fuck? Lamar has spun a populist narrative in which cultural elites are vampiric abusers from whom regular folks need to hide their daughters. The power of that kind of rhetoric has been well demonstrated in national politics. By the way, we all catch what he's doing here, right? Comparing Not Like Us to QAnon? Like, the fuck? This is Spencer, by the way. That's Spencer. Does the self-awareness not dawn on you, Spencer, who has written for The Atlantic before about hip-hop? Does the self-awareness not dawn on you that maybe it's kind of weird that you, White Glasses McGee, is like, oh, this rap stuff is making people into savages? Can you not make a connection, or did they not teach that in the same place they didn't teach how to write in a coherent tone, and only for people who like to smell each other's assholes all the time? I cannot stress enough how much I don't fucking like this guy. Final little like hit of pretentiousness for all of you. Music was once a social, local art form that fostered cultural cohesion. Now it's an on-demand utility that insulates people in their headphones. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Music has always been a local cultural art form and something that isolates people. Did you miss every fucking 80s, 90s, and 2000s film where there's a fucking teenager with headphones on who doesn't want to listen to their parents? Like, have you lived under a rock forever? Is SpongeBob there? Do you guys hang out all the time? Does he tell you about how your glasses look like shit? Like, I don't understand. Is it just like people who are hired by the New Yorker and the Atlantic forgot how like writing works and tone of voice? It feels like it's a bunch of people who failed learning what tone of voice was when they're writing a piece, and just upwards to other people who have failed because they didn't change the way they approached a think piece since 2003. Like, it's so backwards. I've been in a rap beef that went viral, and this was something that frustrated me then too. When my like diss song went viral, everybody else around Berkeley started to try to make diss songs to cash in. It was kind of bad. Not that their shit was bad, it was just like, that's not the vibe. Like, that's a flash in a pan. I really had beef with that guy. And now Shaq's making a diss song, and now Game is making a diss song. I don't care about the Game and Rick Ross. I don't care about Shaq dissing Shannon Sharp. Battles happen because people want to be competitive. If that's the nature, then fine. If you're doing it because you want to cash in, please shut the fuck up. And the last thing I'll say is, yes, there are serious allegations in all of these. Also, there are a lot of stretches of truth everywhere. Drake does have a damaged reputation from before this. People were talking about his relationship with girls who were underage for a while. But listen, I'm not gonna act like both rappers did not stretch the truth on each other. And while yes, I have serious concerns about the way Drake deals with underage fans and people like that, I have a lot of frustrations, and I feel it's kind of creepy with the way those videos are. I'm not a QAnon member. I'm not here for the drama of it. Top Dog recently tweeted that this was a win for the culture, in stark contrast to Questlove, who thought that hip-hop was dead. And I side with Top Dog, because it was a win for the culture. The shooting outside of Drake's house wasn't anything to do with this beef. It was a Toronto-based like crew kind of thing. All of the disputes between Kendrick and Drake were on wax. And that's what it should be. Put it into music. Use your craft. Use your creativity. We got some of the best rap music we have heard in years over this last week. Not you, Heart Part 6, but everything else was great. So please, battling's not a gimmick. Battling has positives and negatives. And don't let people con you or make you scared into thinking that we're all savages. We're not. We've all moved on. If you thought Drake won, good for you. If you thought Kendrick won, good for you. We had a good time, and now we have a summer bop we could slide to forever, and the world will keep on spinning. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go sign up for Too Soon Crew and get some of those extra videos. Go watch my reaction and Not Like Us, and I'm gonna leave you with my BBL Drizzy drop. But anyway, my name is Tabani. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go!
This cake will make you show up. I know you've seen it blow up. As BBL.
Aubrey. That's not when we met, when we told you inflation. Writing your records, you locked in your basement. Back on the gram, giving Ack a new statement. Low on the hearts, man, I'm watching a ratio. I never knew that machine was for plastic. I thought the Kendrick engine, but that shit funny as fuck when you see the reactions. Everyone finally meeting the grams. I'm skipping your video, right? What, you got 90 more jokes about height? You said that I want the proof that you found me a daughter, but don't need the proof about what kind of ages you you like? Fuck trying to pick up a mic. Who in the store? Hiding the teams like wherever you touring. I got like 50 more Uber Eats orders in case can he drop something on you in 40. I bet that you watch season 2 Rick and Morty. Relate to the voices just like it was worth it. I'm talking to Graham and I question the choices. Keep blowing the whistle, you end up like Bowen employment. Losing your power, this a disaster you ain't getting out of. Posting GW memes every hour. This on a views tower. It's a pandemic, get your taste sour. Ain't no change minds like you Steve Crowder. Every club you go to got like 3 bouncers getting lit to songs that call you pedo at 'em. You got bitches biased cause you real scared. Better dust the webs up off your wheelchair. Call up Tory, write you something real rare. Started from the bottom, but you still there. Where the braids at? Where the accent? I feel sorry for you when the cash spent on that video and all the bad friends. Whoever wrote the hacky fucking beat sharp bar. Dirt you getting is in PG. While the clubs ain't got you on a repeat. No bars on you, get the real memes. Let your writers rap, get the real team. Man, fuck it. Thinking you brown with a bucket, then how in the fuck is you losing a button? As rich as you will be with all of those millies, you trying to get millies. Stop leering at Billy. Go make a new record with 40 more songs and 3 that are decent. The Savage is on. Cold at a picnic and singing along while you getting rated. Hey, this what you want.
Don't act like you